a great title, um, but I'm not like moving in such a manner where I just didn't want to hit live just like that. Welcome to the show. It is Zaralath Eternal. And, whoa. Let's see here. There we go. Just a little bit of water. But anyway. I will be at around 2:30 going live with Stein. So head over to Stein Fox and the Greyhorn Pagans podcast, and I'll be doing my 1 hour readings over there, so you've got some time to set yourself up for that. And I will likely sometime later on in the evening do the next part for Rules for Radicals. I was having a chit chat with Robert Phoenix about it, because you saw me live yesterday. I sent him a text being like, "Hey Rob, what's up with what's Saul's chart? I need to know what's going on with his Aries vibe, right?" So we don't have birth time for Saul, but we do have his birthday, and he's an Aquarius, and he's got this trine. He's got this. It's not a grand trine. It's just it doesn't involve Leo, but he's got what the hell does he have? He showed it to me on he sent me he snapshotted and texted it to me. He's got something in Aries. I think he's a Saturn in Aries. That's what it was. It was either Saturn in Sagittarius or Saturn in Aries. That's what it was. It was Saturn, and then something else, and then there was a conjunction to the north. Anyway, I took that brief look at his chart, and I could see Rules for Radicals in the chart. And so, point in fact is that Robert Phoenix likes Saul Alinsky, and we'll see how things go, right? Like, he's obviously, he's doing some funky, logic here. He's got some of the trappings, but back in his day, there was an overwhelming portion of the country that was buying into things like the welfare clause. That's a big one to hammer home, because it's a part of the Constitution that they believe constitutes communism, and because nobody wants to reform the welfare system in a manner that expects the recipient of the welfare to come to a better station in life, to put back in what they gave, right? Like the rest of us. Granted, this is A, depending on the condition. B, are we going to do anything to figure out what's causing the condition? The main reason why we have disease is because we lie to ourselves about what we're doing that gives us the disease. And so something else is always responsible for the disease that we have. When the disease is nothing more than our body's inability to process, integrate, or reject microbes that come in contact through our permeable membranes of the body, whether that be the skin itself. Think about that for a second. How does anybody really know that there wasn't a skin contact element to it, right? You can just see how this justifies wearing like the full burqa situation, right? You get a fucking woman who wants to be that way. Well, some women, they want to be Islamified. And then again, there could also be various churches, or mosques rather, of a liberal nature. We don't think about that. We don't think that perhaps what we are seeing here is that the Muslim world is perhaps just as decent a world as the Christian world, because the mind control is kind of the same, and that there's all sorts of people that are Muslim that they're like the Catholics, right? It's just like there's some sort of strange tolerance for liberal things and pagan things, right? But you don't know about that, right? Just like most of the Judeo-Christian world, and especially in America, wants to completely fucking shove liberalized Christians down, being like, no, liberal Christians aren't real Christians, right? I guarantee you there's a lot of Christians of the Charlie Kirk ilk that are like that. Why? Because I used to be in a Pentecostal Assembly of God fucking church, and that is what worked for me, trying to have my spiritual experience and relationship with God, not liking Catholicism one bit. And I didn't like Catholicism in retrospect now, because I realized that they just took paganism and tried to dress it up in something it wasn't. And somehow Tyr was there, playing Jesus in my mind, as I was being wrong about my whole approach to it, about being like almost a truth worshiper. Like you could see how one would end up becoming somebody who sounds like a Blavatsky, like I've been accused of having those things because I've repeated certain catchphrases, certain rhetorics that may have originated from one of Blavatsky's books, right? Because of what's informing my world, because I don't have, there's nowhere I can go and find an ancient pre-Christian site that is of my ancestors. I have to meditate upon the pre-Christian sites of my cousins of the Red Man, right? And other culturally dissociated and divorced men of shared ancestry will make a mockery of one who has gone through the efforts if they believe that they are taking the wrong ideological position about other things in life, in which perhaps an aspect of the point of fact of being a pagan is informing the opinion, which, where you come from is fine. It's part of what informs your opinion. It's just a question of how far do you want to take the, the commentary on that. At what point is there a limit to how much you think it is civil to um, to insult a man's soul, right? And of course, when it's meaningless rhetoric to one party, oh, they'll try and take it that far, unless of course um, you have that strength in your aura that gives them pause, right? That all of a sudden turns around their attitude real quick. And I'm talking about in comment sections where, you can hide behind um, your digital identity and the fact that there's no physical contact, and there's nothing could happen unless, of course, you truly care to bother to dox the guy, to put in the doxing effort. Parking lot's packed today. The gym is probably packed today. And it's not just the gym for this parking lot, but it's the only thing here that is for a bunch of people. Man, women with their tight leggings like that, man. It's like some women, they want to be in the burqa. Other women, they want to be in nothing at all. Those kinds of women are the ones that wear yoga pants. It's just like they want everybody and their grandma to see their fucking banging lusty ass fucking figure with the badunka dunk, but it's the firm badunka dunk. It's the glutes. It's the juicy glutes situation. They're strong glutes, but they're fat glutes at the same time. And then that nice V section going down into the crotch area, just like, I'm not trying to be vulgar, but I'm just talking about, like, those are the forms, right? It's just like if you're drawing a sexy woman, whether you're a woman or a man, whether you're straight or you're gay, there's certain angulations that you're drawing because that's how the anatomy of the human form works, and you're making choices to depict that in either a gorgeous way or an ugly way or whatever, right? Crafting it to your aesthetic or to your anti-aesthetic, depending on what you're trying to express with the creature, right? Like horror is effectively anti-aesthetic. I'm going to make something so opposite my idea of beauty that it is beautiful in its horrifyingness, which doesn't make it beautiful for me to love, but beautiful for me to be repulsed by, right? This is why we love body horror. I love The Thing. I love The Thing because, oh my God, look at that twisted shape that man became. Wow, was that his rib and his testicles? Ah! Right? And there's just something about the whole thing and the adrenal rush of it. Right? And you're exploring something crazy, right? And it's using a fictional hypothetical situation that kind of shows you something about the ideas of human anatomy, right? It's just like you can see something that looks like it's built just like you based on its outward appearances. But if you were to cut it open and examine it, you'd find that everything is in the wrong place. It's the wrong shape. Some of it doesn't even look like it serves a purpose. And then you realize it's got moving parts inside the body where there's not supposed to be moving parts. And there are things that you would normally expect on the outside of the body to be on the inside for no reason. Like extra sets of teeth, and why are there claws coming through here? Is that a fully functional organ of a mutated sort that is independent from the body yet connected intrinsically to the body because of what's physiologically happening. And it's given you this interesting look at this situation, right? And it's putting humans in the position of cellular organisms, right? Because we're a bulk of cellular organized organisms. The Thing, which is based on, I think it's the Go of H.P. Lovecraft, the gelatinous shape-shifting form. Um, it's it's looking at, like Lovecraft spent his time around like biology departments and things like that. He checked out he checked out all sorts of books on microbial science, and as well as various sea creatures and all this stuff. And by 100+ years ago's scientific standards, we had little understanding of them, and the anatomical drawings of what various insects and other things look like, and stuff looked like under the microscope. um his imagination was fueled with basically scaling and saying, what if it was of this size? What if it could have a physiological effect on human beings the way it does on other kinds of cellular organisms that it preys upon, right? And so that's kind of the thing, right? It's the virus is, you're looking at the macrocosm of what is a cell by cell takeover of the human body, right? Um, you've got all sorts of aspects of where the Thing can split, and then the splits each are their own conscious entity, right? We keep seeing this with when it makes its transfers, when the head falls off the guy, walks away, while the other creature, part of his creature, is still also operating with the coming out of his chest. You've got of course, in the prequel remake, the Swedish guy meets his end to the hand that grabs him and assimilates him by the face, and the hand falls off the guy's shoulder. That's the scene with the origin of the beast that they find charred in the examination room in the original movie. That's where that was coming from. Um, Long story short, well, why was I even on this point? It doesn't matter. It was part of a list of things that I was thinking about, which involved me talking about Saul Alinsky and dealing with people. Yeah, we have things that need to be dismantled and things that need to be preserved. And if we don't dismantle the right things and preserve the right things, we're going to destroy the wrong things. And we may unfortunately preserve the wrong things because we don't know how to get things right. And it is hard to reach an ability to care, right? It's just like, either everybody wants to truly be fucking serious about um, telling the entire government in a certain kind of forceful way to reform, because there's a certain level of force that they can't fucking stop, right? Because I think I want to have more fucking faith in people that are order followers, that they are capable of disobeying orders. Now, the more serious problem has been, and I think that this has always been what it is, and they always try to. I think this is what they like to conceal from history, so you don't understand these cycles, is the real stretch and roll of the brown shirt types. Especially when the brown shirt takes off their fucking shirt, but their soul is still a brown shirt. And they're a brown shirt in their conduct with no discretion. With indiscretion. Whatever. Low key. Keeping a low profile. Inconspicuous. But they will do what they gotta do at their moments that they gotta do it. And it's like being a plainclothes police officer. Right? A plainclothes police officer might as well be a fucking vigilante. Right? Anybody can fucking fabricate a badge and a gun. Like a proper police issue gun. And the badge is the only thing that's gonna fucking stand out like that. So, if this guy is not followed immediately by real officers, there's going to be a big problem because Second Amendment rights. You take out the badge. It's like, okay, you got a badge maybe, but that doesn't have to mean shit. Right? They demonstrate this in V for Vendetta when the brown shirt of that regime kills a child. And the guy's like, no. And he throws up his little fucking authoritative badge and whatever. And they didn't care. They didn't care because, like such a wrong was done. And that's also a demonstration of something that is, it's a question of what you really want to say about a person's character too, right? Because that scene in V for Vendetta, it's a little bit like the scene with Irina in the subway. Right? Because a criminal person acted upon the privilege of his body politic because he lives in the world that treats him special because he's been oppressed and that his actions are excusable. He doesn't care about any of that. He just loves the fact that he's not in jail. And why would he want to be in jail? And gives him a chance to continue to make a difference in the world. The difference of there being less white people in it. By taking out a high-prized breeder. And that's all that's running through his mind. One less white bitch in the world, I think, is what she said. What he said. And we turned on him. This is the right-wing way of turning on left-wing oppression, which needs to be acknowledged, can be a thing. Just like right-wing freedom can be a thing. But we have to stop driving ourselves crazy with rhetoric and identity narratives. Because everything is falling apart in the rational logics. And for both sides, there's been way too much cringe involved with the larger defenses of Trump. It irritates me that Fox News likes Trump. It's just like things were better when Fox News hated Trump. You notice that, right? Now that Fox News likes Trump, things are worse. I mean, things are better, honestly, overall, because of things that Fox was forced to concede to. That was amongst my arguments that were appropriate, accordingly called for the time. Then how things are being done now with the new issues. This is about the new issues. I'm not complaining about settled shit. I don't live in a past that doesn't exist anymore. That's the left's problem, is that they want to live in a past that doesn't exist anymore. Because it's they want to believe that we're echoing it appropriately to say that it is 1939, we need to strike now before the Blitzkrieg. And all of it is over the imagination that it is going to get horrible. It's not, but it's just that you committed a long time ago to say that no such thing should exist. Without asking yourselves, what is the broader conversation about its existence? Because if you don't have that conversation, you are just leaving the whole effing thing to the elites. The elites, half the time, are doing what has to be done from the way it all looks at the top, because even the liberal changing with the times is changing with the times in a way where they're still trying to accomplish what they originally went in for. Whether they eventually got roped in by a conspiracy or were always there to fuck you over, right? Because obviously some people get fucking roped in, and they rope in enough of them where you barely have a fucking ethical soul left in the building. It's okay. I'm just sick and tired of every solution being compared to the final solution. How about that? There, I fucking said it. You think everything that everybody does on the right is the final fucking solution. And you think everything that everybody does on the left is a re-education. And it's so nauseating to watch you two go back and fucking forth that sometimes I hope you fucking kill each other, because I'm not a Christian. But the problem is if you want to kill each other, you're likely to rope me in as collateral. So I have to fucking speak, because the bloodshed is inhuman. Anyway, I want to do my thing. I will catch you guys later.